The Hubspot Developers account on Twitter has significant followership, over 6,000 people. However, we don't know who these people are and how many of them are real developers. What I will show you in this 5-minute video is how we analyze this list of followers in the eCairn platform and uncover insights you can leverage to manage and grow the Hubspot Developers community. So we uploaded all the accounts following HubSpot in the eCairn Conversations platform. By uploading these accounts, we automatically split people by organizations. We then enrich and collect additional social profiles for these individuals by adding their location, job title, company, and so on and so forth. This list by default is organized by influence. We see many people on the top are actually HubSpot employees or former employees, which is good. It's good that employees are following your account, but it's not making things easy to find intelligence about what the real developers following HubSpot are interested in. Staying on this list, we isolated the people working at HubSpot from the others. Here, we are looking at the people who are not working at HubSpot. We see that there are indeed some very interesting people following you. Even if most of the top ones are not developers, when we hover over, for example, this person, JD Sherman, he's a CEO at Dashline, so pretty high up. And if we click here, we can get access to his LinkedIn profile. Here, you can send him a message and thank him for following your account. Another thing we can do is that since we collect the company's names, I can look at, let's say, people from Wayfair that are following HubSpot. It's a list of 10 people, but here you can see that there are some engineers, and if you have an account team working with Wayfair, it's interesting to know that they have a high ranking in the organization and they follow your HubSpot developers account. That can be some interesting piece of data for you. But now back to the developers. Since we collected the job title and bio, we can filter people who say they are developers. This is a list that we ended up getting, over 500 people. So out of the 7,000 people following you on Twitter, we spotted over 500 developers. You can see their influence is not very high. Our software has rich capabilities to plot the social graph. But let's focus on what these people talk about on Twitter. In regards to the developers, let's look at what they're talking about on Twitter. I built a topic from what the developers are talking about. So set the timeline as last month, and we analyze their tweet. From these search results, we see the most prevalent topics that these people used on Twitter during the last month. This intelligence can be used to align your content plan and to have ideas of what your audience is expecting you to talk about. We see here vaccine is obviously part of the list, and job is another word that stands out. When I click on job, I can see that there are a lot of people talking about the job hunt, engineering jobs, etc. It is definitely something that people are interested in. Another feature that is interesting for community managers is to look at what articles the developers shared on Twitter last month. This will identify articles that you can share with your community. As an example here, we have one article from the New York Times which talks about the COVID breakthrough. So several developers from your list of followers shared this article. You have another article here from Notion. It's really technical and it may work well with your developer's audience. HubSpot doesn't show up high in this list. As you can see, HubSpot is here. Based on the data we see here, developers following you read more content from GitHub, Medium, Google, Microsoft. That's always something that you should think about. Maybe you need to publish more content on these platforms. LinkedIn is quite high, and I saw that you have a good communication channel on LinkedIn. To recap, there are many insights you can get with our platform as highlighted in this demo. By looking at your Twitter community, we showed you how, 1, to enrich your list of followers and understand who these people are, who they work for, and what position they have. 2, how to spot and profile developers following your account. And lastly, how to listen to these developers and to better understand topics, trends, and articles that are really interesting for your audience.